Hello, Kim.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Excellent. We're just quickly waiting for Ellie to join. While you wait, Kim, I want you to quickly read through these questions. And I want you to start and think of some answers for all of them, okay?
Yes, teacher.
There she is. Hello, Ellie.
Hello, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Excellent. Okay, Ellie. So Kim already know how we do this. What I'm going to do is we're going to ask and answer these 4 questions. You and Kim. And when I'm going to write the answers on the screen so you can read them. And then when we're done answering all the questions, you guys are going to read the question and the answers again, as if you guys are having a conversation. Do you understand, Ellie? Ellie, do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. So the first question is yours, Kim. The second one is Ellie's. The third one is Kim's. And the last one is Ellie's. So, Kim, when you're ready, I want you to ask Ellie the first question.
How would you deal with language barriers?
Barriers. Okay, so before you answer, Ellie, let me just quickly explain what language barriers mean, these 2 words. So, the topic of this question is living in a different country. There it is at the top. Wait, let me just move Ellie's name there. There's the topic. So what this means is, imagine you are in another country, not your home country. You're living there because you're working there. Now, you don't speak the language of that nation. For example, let's say I speak French and you speak Vietnamese. Now, I do not know Vietnamese and you do not know French. How would you try and communicate with me? This is what the question asks. How would you communicate with someone if they don't understand your language and you don't understand their language? Okay, so Ellie, how would you deal with language barriers?
I find a tutor.
I Oh, you find a tutor. Find a tutor to do what? Okay, Ellie, so please try and give full answers. Ellie, can you please repeat this answer?
I will find a tutor to teach me the language of the country I am living in.
Perfect. Okay. Ellie, can you ask the next question for Kim?
What local food or traditions would you try first? I would to try local food first because I like it and I want to try the food in another country.
Okay, Kim, can you repeat this answer for me?
I would try local food first because I like it and want to try the food of a different country.
Perfect. Okay, Kim, can you ask the next question?
Would you want to go to school there? Yes.
Remember, Ellie, full sentence, full answers. Your answer and your reason. So yes, I would like to because what would be your reason, Ellie? Ellie, can you hear me?
Yes,
What would be your reason to that you want to go to school there?
because it is interesting and I can uh eat more food.
Okay. Or you can say and make new friends. I think that would also be a good enough reason. Okay, Ellie, can you read the last thing? Can you ask him the last question?
Would you keep in touch with friends back hometown? Um, I don't know.
Do you understand the question?
No.
Okay, so what is meant by keep in touch? It's basically meaning would you still talk to your friends back home if you live in another country, and how would you do it?
I can keep in touch with my friend.
Okay, so let's start with yes. I would. Let me give you help with your answer. I would still keep in touch. I will try to message them daily and maybe call them once a week. So Kim, can you repeat that answer?
Yes, I will still keep in touch. I will try to message them daily and maybe call them once a week.
Perfect. Okay, I'm just quickly going to save these answers and then we're going to go through them again. And I want you guys to... How it's going to work is Kim is going to ask the first question, Ellie, you're going to answer. And then after your answer, Ellie, I want you to immediately ask your question, okay? Don't wait for me to say anything. So, but before we do that, I think let's just quickly read through the answers again. To make sure they are we cannot make them better. Let me see here. There we go. That might fit there better. Okay. So, just want to squeeze them all in here. Okay, so Ellie, you said, I will find a tutor to teach me the language of the country I'm living in. Kim, you said I would try local foods first because I like it and want to try the foods of a different country. Ellie, you said again, yes, it would like to because it would be interesting and make new friends. And Kim, the last one I helped you with. So, Kim, I want you to first ask your question, and Ellie, I want you to read your answer. Kim, when you're ready.
How would you deal with language barriers?
Um, I will I will find a tutor to teach me the language of the country I am living.
Next question, Ellie.
What local food or traditions would you try first?
I would try local foods first because I like it and want to try the foods of a different country. Would you want to go to the school there?
Yes, I would like to because it would be interesting and make new friends.
Oh, wait, Ellie, before you continue, can you say it again?
Would Yes, I would like to because it would be interesting and I can make new friends. Would Would you keep in touch with friends back home house?
Yes, I will still keep in touch. I will try to message them daily and maybe call them once a week.
Perfect, guys. Just one thing, Ellie. This word, where was it? Oh, over here. This word is pronounced tutor.
Tutor.
Tutor, yes, like you're trying to say it like this. Tutor. Okay, remember that. Tutor. Okay, now we're going to change it a bit. So you guys are going to have to come up with new answers. So Elly, you're going to ask first. Kim, you answer first. So Elly, can you ask the first question?
How would you deal with language barriers?
Kim?
I would
You need help, Kim?
yes.
Okay, Kim? I would try and teach myself common phrases of the local language or use Google Translate to communicate with people. So Kim, can you please repeat that answer?
I would try and teach myself common phrases of the local language or use Google Translate to communicate with people.
Perfect. Okay, Kim?
What's local food and our tradition with what you try first?
I want to try spaghetti because it's delicious and I can reward everywhere. I can eat everywhere.
Okay. Elly, ask this question.
I want to try spaghetti
Now read the next
because
question.
it's delicious and I can eat everywhere.
I want you to read the next question.
Would you want to go to school there?
Yes, I would because I want to school in another country and learn
And learn.
new lessons, learn new things.
Perfect. Okay, Kim, ask the last question.
Would you keep in touch with friends back home? How?
Elly?
I don't know.
Would you keep in touch with friends back home? And how?
I can understand the question.
Okay, so When you keep in touch with someone, it means you continue to talk to them. Like if you live in another country and you have friends in your home country, would you still try to talk with them? And how would you do it? Do you understand?
Yes. I
Do you need help?
Alo.
Concert.
Mấy giờ ghé lái được?
Can you say again, Ellie?
Có cái mai 8 giờ đi ngang chỗ đài này nên. Chỗ đi theo cái gì? Chỗ đi theo cái gì?
Ellie, can you say again?
I make friends over the
Mấy giờ
internet.
làm việc anh? Mấy giờ làm việc?
Remember, this is about your friends. Not making new friends is about your friends. Would you still talk to your friends if you move to another country? And how would you do it? That was the question. So I will try and communicate with my friends over the internet. That's perfect. Okay. So now I just want to change one question. No, I don't think we need to change it. Let me quickly save these answers. And then we will continue.
Còn hai văn phòng tiếng Mỹ, hai bố trí anh.
Okay, so the same as before. Ellie, can you ask the first question?
I will try and communicate.
No. Can you please ask the first question? This one.
How would you deal with language barriers?
I would try and teach myself common phrases of the
Local. Kim, you there?